Have you ever found yourself completely baffled by someone's actions? Like, what on earth were they
Oh,
thinking?
absolutely.
Or maybe you caught yourself, repeating the same mistakes even when you knew better.
Happens to everyone.
Navigating human behavior, ours and others, can feel like trying to solve a puzzle where the rules just keep changing.
Yeah, constantly shifting rule book, exactly.
Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into Robert Greene's masterful book, The Laws of Human Nature.
A big one.
Definitely. We've pulled insights from some really great summaries, Reading Graphics, Escaping Ordinary, GM, Audible.com, to extract the most potent nuggets.
Yeah.
Our mission is really to equip you, the listener, to become a better judge of character, understand your own mind with maybe some new clarity, and influence others more effectively.
And this really isn't just, a book of tips and tricks.
Yeah.
It's this extensive study, psychology, philosophy,
Right.
all explaining 18 fundamental laws. These supposedly govern why we behave the way we do, rooted in, millions of years of evolution.
Wow. So our goal today is to kind of cut through that complexity and give you a powerful shortcut to these pretty profound insights.
And Greene, he's known for his work on strategy, power.
Yeah, 48 Laws of Power, Art of Seduction.
Exactly. He spent 6 years researching and writing this huge book. He even apparently faced a stroke before completing it.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which really underlines how important it must have been to him.
For sure.
And each of these 18 laws, they're so richly detailed. He uses historical figures, Pericles, Stalin, Coco Chanel, drawing from psychology, philosophy, spirituality, even biology, to paint this incredibly comprehensive picture.
It's very multidisciplinary.
Okay, so let's unpack the first law Greene lays out, because it challenges, a core assumption we all tend to make about ourselves, our rationality.
Right. This is foundational.
Greene argues that we think we're rational, we think we're in control, but in reality, we're deeply, profoundly driven by irrational emotions. Seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, and soothing the ego. That's a big one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Soothing the ego.
And what's fascinating here is how he connects this to the brain itself. He explains, that emotions and conscious thought are in different parts.
Okay.
We actually feel an emotion before we consciously interpret it. And often that interpretation is completely skewed. It's just much easier, say, to label someone else a jerk.
Right.
Than to admit maybe your own insecurity or jealousy is driving your reaction.
That's a tough pill to swallow, isn't it?
It really is.
I imagine a lot of listeners are thinking, okay, but what if they really are being a jerk? How does Greene suggest we handle that initial very human reaction while still trying to look inward?
Well, he lays out this powerful 3-step path. It's quite practical, actually.
Right.
First, we need to recognize our biases. He calls them low-grade irrationality.
Low-grade irrationality. Like background noise.
Kind of, yeah. These are the subtle mental shortcuts that distort how we see things and how we respond.
Okay, examples.
Oh yeah, like confirmation bias, you only look for evidence that confirms what you already believe.
See that all the time.
Or conviction bias, defending your views super fiercely, maybe just throwing out your own doubts.
Interesting.
Then there's appearance bias, being misled by how people seem on the surface. Group bias, just, following the herd.
Right.
Superiority bias, always thinking you're better than others. And blame bias, that reflex to avoid your own failures by pointing fingers.
We all have those.
Absolutely, to some degree.
So awareness is the first step.
Okay, so recognize biases. What's step 2?
Step 2 is to be aware of inflaming factors. These are moments of what he calls high-grade irrationality.
Even certain individuals, people who just push your buttons.
Or those infectious group emotions, like in a mob, or even just an angry meeting.
Okay.
The key here is to recognize these triggers when they happen, try to detach, take a breath, and really think about the underlying source. Where is this really coming from?
Detach and contemplate. Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, definitely. It takes practice. Which leads to the third step.
Which is?
Develop your rational self. This is the active part.
Okay.
Greene offers practical exercises. He suggests, really observing yourself during stressful moments, noticing your physical reactions, your thoughts.
Like being a scientist of yourself.
Sort of,
Yeah.
yeah. And examining the roots of your feelings. Maybe even, he suggests, recording them in a journal. And crucially, waiting before you respond. Don't just react immediately. Create some space. He also advises accepting that some people are irrational and seeing that as a fact of life rather than taking their behavior personally all the time.
That's a big one. Love personalization.
Huge. And finally, consciously channeling your emotional energy. Instead of being driven by it, you direct it towards something productive.
He uses Pericles of Athens as an example, right? How his emotional restraint was key.
Exactly. Pericles faced huge public pressure, anger, fear, but he managed to pause, think strategically, and make decisions that benefited Athens long term, not just reacting to the immediate outcry. It's a powerful illustration.
So, thinking about the listener,
What's the actionable takeaway here? How can you apply this awareness day to day, especially when you feel that strong emotional pull? Something to reflect on.
Definitely.
Okay, moving on. This next one gets really compelling.
At one extreme, you have what he calls deep narcissists. These are individuals who lack a stable sense of self. They need constant external validation. They often become manipulative leaders, can be quite destructive because everything is about feeding their ego.
And the other end, or the middle.
Well, then there are functional narcissists. He says most of us fall somewhere in this range.
Okay.
We might slip into self-absorption, get caught up in our own world, but we generally have enough self-awareness to recognize it and pull back.
So not necessarily pathological.
Not necessarily, no. The goal, he argues, isn't to eliminate self-love, but to become a healthy narcissist.
Healthy narcissist, explain that.
It's someone who has a solid sense of self-worth, that self-love is there, but they direct that sensitivity outward. It manifests as genuine empathy for others or maybe as focused creative energy.
Okay, transforming self-love into empathy. That's quite profound, almost counterintuitive.
It is. But it makes sense when you think about real connection and influence. It's not about suppressing yourself. It's about channeling that energy outwards.
So how do we actually do that? What are the steps Greene gives for shifting towards this healthy narcissism away from the more damaging self-absorption?
He outlines 4 crucial empathic skills. Practical stuff again.
Okay.
First, cultivate an empathetic attitude. This is foundational. It means starting every interaction assuming you don't know much about the other person's perspective.
Okay, assume ignorance.
Right. Be genuinely curious.
Yeah.
Set aside your judgments. Stop that inner monologue that's just waiting to talk. And truly listen. Don't assume you share the same views. Be open to discovering something new about them.
That takes conscious effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Second, develop visceral empathy.
Visceral. Like gut feeling.
Kind of. It's about paying super close attention to nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
Facial expressions, body language, tone of voice. Those often tell you more than words.
Right.
Greene even suggests subtly mirroring the other person, matching their tone a bit, nodding when they nod, smiling back. It helps build a subconscious connection. You start to almost feel what they're feeling.
Interesting. Mirroring. Okay, third.
Third is analytic empathy. This goes beyond the immediate interaction. It's about actively gathering information to understand the person more deeply over time.
Like building a profile.
Exactly. What are their family dynamics like? What are their core values? What are their emotional triggers from the past? What really motivates them? It's about understanding their world.
Okay, attitude, visceral, analytic. What's the fourth?
And finally, using direct or indirect feedback. Once you think you have a sense of them, you test your assumptions.
Wow.
You can ask gentle questions about their thoughts or feelings, or just observe their reactions to what you say and do. Does the rapport improve? Do they seem understood? It's a constant calibration process. Are your guesses accurate?
That makes sense. It's like fine-tuning your understanding.
Precisely.
And Greene uses Stalin as a cautionary tale here, right? Extreme paranoia, total self-obsession.
Exactly. A stark example of unchecked deep narcissism and its destructive potential. It really hammers home the need to channel that energy outward in a healthy, empathic way.
So again, the question for you, the listener, how can you take that natural self-focus, that self-love, and consciously transform it into genuine, outward-directed empathy? How could that change your connections, your influence?
It's a powerful question to sit with.
Definitely. Now, as we said, there were 16 more laws in this massive book. We can't possibly dive deep into all of them today,
No way. Each one could be its own episode.
for sure. But let's take a quick tour through a few more that really stand out, maybe build on these first two.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
How about the law of role-playing? This one urges us to see through people's masks.
Ah, yes. The public persona. Everyone wears one.
Right. And understanding how to read nonverbal cues, figuring out what lies beneath that surface presentation. Greene says that's critical. He talks about Milton Erickson, the famous hypnotherapist,
A master reader of people.
how he could decode emotions just from tiny signals, way beyond what people were saying. It's a reminder that appearances can be, and often are, deceiving.
Very true. And that connects well to the law of compulsive behavior.
How so?
Well, it emphasizes recognizing repetitive patterns, especially destructive ones, in both yourself and others. Greene uses Howard Hughes as an example.
The reclusive billionaire.
Yeah. His repeated personal downfalls driven by compulsions he couldn't control. This law helps you assess character, including your own, and maybe address negative patterns before they spiral.
Seeing the patterns beneath the mask, perhaps.
Exactly. Then there's the law of covetousness. This one's intriguing.
Covetousness. Sounds a bit negative.
It can be, but Greene frames it strategically. It teaches us how to become an elusive object of desire.
Okay. Like playing hard to get.
In a sophisticated way, yes. Think of Coco Chanel. She brilliantly used scarcity, allure, a sense of unobtainability in her designs and her brand.
Creating desire.
Precisely. Greene puts it starkly. Dangle in front of others what they are missing most in life, what they are forbidden to have, and they will go crazy with desire. It's about understanding deep human longing.
That's quite a statement. Use desire strategically. Okay, what else?
Then there's the opposite, in a way. The law of short-sightedness.
Okay.
This urges us to elevate our perspective beyond immediate gratification or panic. Think long-term.
Resist the urge for the quick fix.
Exactly. He contrasts this with historical disasters like the South Sea Bubble, where collective short-sightedness led to ruin. It's all about maintaining your long-term vision, even when things are chaotic right now.
Important for leaders, entrepreneurs.
Anyone, really, absolutely. And related to influence, there's the law of defensiveness. This one suggests that instead of directly challenging people's core beliefs or self-opinion, which just makes them dig in their
I
heels,
like defensive.
you should try to confirm their self-opinion first. Acknowledge their view, their sense of themselves. It softens their resistance and makes them more open. He uses Lyndon B. Johnson as an example of someone who was masterful at this, finding common ground by validating others first.
Confirm to soften resistance. That's a useful tactic.
Very useful. Then there's one you touched on briefly, the law of repression, confronting your dark side.
Right, the shadow.
Yeah, those insecurities, aggressive impulses, the parts of ourselves we don't like and try to hide even from ourselves.
It sounds uncomfortable.
It can be, but Greene argues that by becoming aware of and integrating this shadow side, you don't become evil, you actually unleash creative energy. You become more authentic, more whole.
Interesting. So acknowledging the darkness leads to more light, in a way.
That's the idea. You radiate a deeper authenticity, which is incredibly magnetic.
Wow. Okay, one more. Maybe the most profound one.
I think you're referring to the law of death denial.
Yes. That one really stood out.
It's powerful. It suggests that instead of
fuels creativity, gives us a sense of urgency and purpose.
Because time is limited.
Exactly. He quotes Montaigne. He who has learned how to die has unlearned how to be a slave.
Wow.
Knowing how to die frees us from all subjection and constraint. It puts everyday fears and anxieties into perspective.
That gives you chills almost. It really reframes everything.
It absolutely does. And these are just a few. There's the law of envy, the law of conformity, the law of grandiosity, knowing your limits.
Yeah.
Each one is a whole pathway to understanding.
It's an incredible body of work. So let's bring it back to the practical. What does all this mean for you, the listener, day to day? How can these insights be used? They're not just philosophy, right?
Not at all. They're incredibly practical tools. Think about leadership.
Okay.
A leader who understands these laws can read nonverbal cues better during meetings, understand what truly motivates different team members, adapt their communication to align with individual desires or fears, anticipate defensive reactions. It all leads to better team cohesion, better collaboration.
Makes sense. What about entrepreneurship?
Oh, absolutely crucial. Social intelligence is everything for an entrepreneur. Building trust with investors, forming strong partnerships, really connecting with customers on an emotional level.
Understanding what makes people tick.
Exactly. Mastering these dynamics helps you navigate challenges, leverage relationships, and ultimately build a successful business. It's about understanding the human element, which is fundamental.
And just in our everyday interactions
Mhm.
with family, friends, colleagues.
That's where it starts, really. By recognizing your own patterns, your biases, your triggers, your shadow aspect, and by developing empathy to understand the hidden motives and emotions of others, you can transform potentially negative encounters into constructive exchanges.
Fewer misunderstandings, maybe. Better connections.
Absolutely. Developing this self-awareness and emotional intelligence leads to better relationships across the board. It really does boil down to that quote you mentioned from the book.
Which one?
It is only in our awareness that we can start to think of progress.
Awareness is the key.
It all starts there.
So today we've taken this deep dive into Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. We've uncovered how understanding our own emotional selves, transforming that self-love into empathy, and navigating the complexities of others' behaviors can profoundly change our interactions and really our lives. From recognizing those subtle biases we all have to understanding the deep evolutionary roots of our actions, these laws offer a really powerful framework for growth.
And as we've seen, Greene's work isn't just about observing others like
Specimens under a microscope. It really encourages you, urges you to bravely look inward.
Right.
By integrating those parts of yourself that are often repressed, your shadow,
If understanding our shared mortality, our finite time here, can genuinely ignite our purpose and connect us more deeply, as Greene suggests, how might our collective denial of this ultimate truth, or perhaps, conversely, our collective acceptance of it, be shaping the very nature of human civilization right now and moving forward? What stands out to you about that?